Chambers of the Occult may contain content that might not be suitable for all listeners. Listener discretion is advised. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back.
Old News Nonsense.
Volume 14?
13.
13? Oh, I need to get my facts straight.
It's been a minute. We're like a little behind on this one's.
It's
but
been
we'll
like
get
a month.
Yeah, we'll get caught up, folks. Sorry if you were waiting for the Old News Nonsense.
We'll give you those palate cleansers, so
Yeah.
don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. There's still plenty of Old News Nonsense out there.
Yeah, there is a lot. It's never ending. Like, there's new stuff that comes out every day.
Yeah.
And it's all pretty fun. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, speaking of
fun,
old news.
Oh.
And fun. I guess.
Do you want to take it? Yeah.
Right.
Go ahead.
Into it. Yeah. All right. Now I know. This is old news nonsense. But this first article that I have comes from 2019.
Oh.
If you think about it, it kind of is old at this point.
It's 6 years.
That's 6 years ago. So, Anyway, this is from the Boston Globe, Boston, Massachusetts, on Tuesday, June 11th, 2019.
Got it.
And this one is titled World's Ugliest Dog Contest.
Oh, no.
But it's for a good cause.
Okay, they have to, because otherwise it's just a rude competition.
Exactly. So, Tostito.
Is that a dog name? Love it.
Tostito has ears that look like they've been gnawed on. His boneless jaw is slack, and the dog's tongue, it spills, long and dangling from his toothless mouth like wax dripping from a pink candle. Sometimes he wears a diaper.
Is this an old dog?
Yeah.
Oh.
To some, the roughly 13-year-old Chihuahua's looks might be a turnoff.
Oh, and it's a
but
Chihuahua
not to
as
owner
well.
Molly Horgan.
Okay.
And soon, his unique features could make him a champion among outcasts. Tostito, full name Tostito Kevin, is one of 9 contestants.
Tostito Kevin
is one of 9 contestants heading this month to the world's ugliest dog contest in California, an annual event that celebrates aesthetically distinctive canines while raising awareness about the importance of second chances and pet adoption. The world's ugliest dog contest has been a testament that the pedigree does not define the pet, according to the event's website.
Fair.
Dogs of all breeds and sizes have warmed our hearts and filled our lives with unconditional love. This world-renowned event celebrates the imperfections that make all dogs special and unique. In a telephone interview Monday, Horgan said she was excited that Tostito will be part of this year's contest. Quote, "I usually follow the competition every year, and I'm always interested to see what type of dogs there are," she said. "I thought it would be fun to try and see if we could get him in." And he's in.
And he's in.
Mm-hmm. Tostito, the Plymouth, Maine native, or Tostito, who has his own Facebook page, was adopted by Oregon and her former roommate 2 years ago, she said. Initially, the Plymouth, Maine native had been searching online for a bigger dog, but when the pooch's face popped up while she was scrolling through the available pets, she knew she had to have
To go with Tostito.
Yeah, Tostito Kevin.
Tostito Kevin.
Quote, "I never wanted a Chihuahua because I know they can be aggressive and pee a lot. But reading about his background, I just really thought he needed to be in my life," she said. and I'm glad I made that decision because he's brought us a lot of joy.
Aw.
Tostito was a nervous dog when he first arrived. His ribs poked out from malnourishment.
God.
The shelter that rescued him from Tennessee didn't know much about his background. But Oregon wrote in a profile on the contest website that Tostito has flourished, and his personality has shown through despite his challenges. Quote, "It has been the best experience of my life watching him go from a terrified, shy dog to a spunky, sassy boy."
Yes.
She wrote, "He has an amazing way of comforting other dogs when they're anxious or upset. He doesn't trust many people, but when he does, he showers them with so much love."
Nice.
Oregon said this is her first year entering the contest. She's currently raising money through GoFundMe.com so she can purchase a plane ticket to get Tostito to the June 21st competition,
Okay.
which is part of the Sonoma Maria Fair. If she brings in enough money for the trip, she's on pace to meet her goal and has received support from friends, dog walking clients, and even her landlord, who saw her on television.
Nice.
Oregon and Tostito will face some faces. The competition, it's pretty tough. There's some pretty ugly dogs on there, and I'm a little worried, said Oregon, 26.
Okay.
There's Josie, a small dog from Arizona with frizzy hair and a long tongue that sticks out.
Okay.
TT, a crestic mix making its second trip to the contest, and perhaps most notably, Willy Wonka.
Willy Wonka.
A 7-month-old American Staffordshire Terrier mix that has bow legs caused by, quote, carpal laxity syndrome, according to the competition's website. The first place winner is awarded $1,500 and a trip to New York to appear on the Today Show, according to organizers.
Nice.
The winner also gets to select an animal rescue of their choice to receive a matching prize donation.
That's sweet.
Yeah, that is awesome. Last year, a bulldog named Zaza,
Zaza.
but it's like ZSA. I think this article's so small.
It's fine.
Zaza took home the crown and was launched into celebrity. Despite what Tostito's up against, Oregon thinks he could be a winner and has a chance of standing out amongst the lineup when they strut the red carpet in front of the judges. "I think he has a chance," she said. "He has a big personality for such a little guy."
Nice.
While Horgan said she's received some backlash for entering the dog competition based on his unflattering looks, she sees it as a way to advocate for animals who may get overlooked during the adoption process.
Yeah.
Quote, "It's not about making fun of ugly dogs. It's showing all dogs are beautiful," she said, "and it's all about animal rescue and advocacy."
It is a good cause.
I agree. And it's pretty fun, right?
Do we
wanna
know
watch
if
a Ugliest
Tostito
dog contest.
Kevin won?
Let's see.
What year was this?
2019.
2019.
Tostito Kevin dog. Let's see. On the spot research right now.
I want to also know if this contest is still happening.
Tostito Kevin won third.
He took
Place
third place.
third.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw a picture,
The picture
of
of
his
him?
dog.
Yeah, so there's pictures of him too. So we'll
With his
definitely
tongue
post those.
out.
Yeah.
Okay, see, that's pretty cute.
He is kind of cute, actually.
Okay, Tostito dog, maybe next year. Tostito dog, Tostito Kevin,
Tostito
maybe
dog.
next year.
Tostito Kevin. Wow, it was a 28-year-old contest. Like, it had been going for 28 years. I think
Okay.
it still is going.
Listeners, would you go? Would you like us to go?
Yeah.
If it's in
Would
June
you cover-
21st, we still have
Yes.
time.
Yeah, we could cover the world's ugliest dog contest.
My God, live.
All right, well, there's my first article.
Thank you. Well, in the topic of animals, let's stick with them
Okay.
because why not? However, let me figure out where this newspaper clipping is
No
from.
worries, they disappear sometimes. You know,
The thing
they're
is, I am normally pretty good at like renaming the clippings I save with the article that it's from. For some reason, I just didn't do this one. I thought I did.
That's fine.
But
Um,
I will say,
Yeah.
found it. Cool.
hell yeah.
So this is from Port Chester, New York, from January 10th, 1992.
Okay.
And it says, horns of a dilemma. Zimbabwe is dehorning rhinos in an effort to save dwindling herds.
Oh, shit.
And it continues by saying, Zimbabwe, in a desperate attempt to save the rhino, one of Africa's most endangered species, rangers are cutting off animals' prized horns with chainsaws to make them undesirable to poachers. It's not as...
okay. I see.
Yeah. At first, I was also thrown off. I'm like, why are they doing this?
But people poach them for their horns.
Yes.
So if you just remove their horns in the first place, then...
They're undesirable.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it continues by saying, it's not as painful as it sounds, they say. Without the horn, they're of no value to poachers, said Dr. Mike Knock, a veterinarian surgeon with the National Parks and Wildlife Department. And since the horn is actually compressed of hair-like fibers, it's like cutting fingernails.
Whoa.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that either. It continues by saying, the dehorning is a last-ditch bid to protect Zimbabwe's dwindling herds of about 2,000 rhinos in wildlife sanctuaries. The Zimbabwe herds include 2/3 of the world's black rhinos, which are in great danger of extinction than the white rhinos. Only 20 years ago, 65,000 black rhinos roamed Africa.
Wow.
Poachers, often with the help of corrupt officials, have slaughtered tens of thousands of black and white rhinos for horns that are worth about $12,000 each on the black market. Yep. The horns are considered an aphrodisiac and used in folk medicine and Far East as decorative dagger handles in Yemen. Zimbabwe rangers have killed at least 145 poachers the past 7 years.
Holy shit, that's a lot.
That is a lot. That's more than 10 a year. That's a lot. Like almost one per month. And it continues by saying they have killed at least 145 poachers the last 7 years and still have lost at least 960 rhinos to money-hungry poachers. Yeah.
That's really sad.
It really is, especially when you like hear that it's just for their like horns and they're not even. Anyway, it continues by saying, despite the risk, the poachers still come mostly across Zimbabwe River from neighboring Zambia in dugout canoes under the cover of darkness. And then it has a little fun facts and some caricatures of dinosaurs that just says hornless rhino. It says the same things. And then here's like the little like numbers with the facts. It says poachers kill for horns that are worth about $12,000 each on the black market. Their horns can be as long as 3.5 feet, 107 centimeters long. That's long. 20 years ago, 65,000 black rhinos roamed Africa. About 2,000 rhinos are left in wildlife sanctuaries, so it dropped from 65 to 2,000.
That's a lot of loss.
Yeah. And that is all. It was just an informative newspaper clipping for y'all. Yeah.
That really was. Like, I knew that elephants got poached, but I didn't realize that was a way to, like, combat it, like, fight back.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize how many poachers that, like, rangers would kill.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Oh, definitely.
Actually.
When I saw those numbers, I was like, reading them again, I was like, nope, there's no typo. That's what it was. Yeah, so rhinos. We went from dogs to rhinos without horns. What do you have for us, Kai?
Well, now we're going from dogs to rhinos without horns to Santa.
To Santa. It's March. Early
I know.
Christmas?
early Christmas. It's Christmas somewhere, as the saying goes.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah. This is from
Santa.
The Hamilton Spectator, Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, Wednesday, December 20th, 1989.
Okay, 1989.
Santa suit thief turns out to be a real party pooper. Somewhere out there is a Grinch with a stolen Santa Claus suit in his closet and the deep disappointment of 30 children on his conscience.
Oh no.
The stolen
What
suit
happened?
meant the children attending the Canadian Hearing Society's annual Christmas party Sunday had to do without an appearance by the jolly old guy. Quote, "We told them Santa was busy," said Joan Upson, a parent and society member who spent an hour desperately trying to find a replacement suit. The kids started yelling. They couldn't understand. Some were crying.
Oh,
Santa
no.
was supposed to be handing out a gift to each of the children, who range in age from 1 to 11. The youngsters at the party are either hearing impaired themselves or the children of hearing impaired parents. Miss Upson
Got
said
it.
the man who was to play Santa arrived at about 2 p.m. at the Society's King Street East location, went to get the suit, and discovered it was not in the cupboard where it had been stored. The only explanation is that it was stolen, she said, but they have no idea when, since the last time it was used was last
year.
Yeah.
No, that's 12 months.
Literally. That discovery precipitated a frantic afternoon spent looking for a replacement suit, a Santa without prior commitments, or even a stray Santa. And that's it.
No, they didn't find the suit that we know
I
of.
don't think they ever found it.
Oh, those poor children. I wonder what ended up happening. I hope they found like a replacement suit.
I hope the children, like the kids still got their gift.
I'm sure they did, but maybe someone dressed as an elf or Mrs. Claus, or
I hope so.
they brought the
At least
Santa from the
somebody
street with the
festive.
bell collecting for charity, and they're like, hey, we
hope
just need you to
so.
give gifts out. That's all. That's a little sad. Also crazy. Why would someone steal like a Santa Claus suit?
I have no clue. Like, why do you need a Santa suit?
Yeah.
What's the point?
You know what? I hope it wasn't their size.
Yeah, I hope it was like way too small, and so they had to like really squeeze into it.
Fair. Okay. Talking about children, let's talk about children.
Okay.
Because that made sense. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot. A lot of stuff.
So I have a newspaper clipping from the Minneapolis Journal, Minneapolis, from Minnesota on February 13th, 1920.
Okay.
Now this one says, these ones are not nice children waiting for Santa. They're definitely in the naughty list.
Okay.
And it says, 7 boys charged with ice cream thefts.
Come on, kids. Why are you stealing ice cream?
It continues by saying, 7 boys, all under 18 years of age, will appear in juvenile court Tuesday following their arrest last night by patrolman Victor Pedersen at the ice cream plant of the Lathrop Camps Company. In the last 2 weeks, $500 worth of ice cream have disappeared from the wagons of the company. I know!
And wait, when was this?
1920.
$500 in 1920. What? $500 in 1920 equals $8,349 in 2025.
Worth of ice cream.
These kids stole $8,000 worth of ice cream.
Yes! That's like $1,000 per kid.
How do you steal that much ice cream?
I don't think I've spent
Okay.
close to $100 in ice cream.
No. The most I spent on ice cream like at once is like $20 maybe?
Yeah.
Like what? Okay.
So-
go ahead. Yeah, tell me more.
Yeah, it says In the last 2 weeks, $500 worth of ice cream have disappeared from the wagons of the company. When 2 boys were caught by Pedersen last night trying to pry the lock from one of the wagons, they implicated several others. They had more than 60 bricks of fancy cream in their possession.
Fancy cream.
I guess that's what they called it in the 1920s. And it wraps up by saying, police expressed the belief that they were selling it in the vicinity.
Yo, they were running like a ice cream smuggling ring.
They were.
They're like dealing ice cream.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, definitely in the naughty list. They're not getting any present this year. And also, like, why are you trying to make money by selling ice cream?
That's like such a interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
And also, was nobody wondering where these kids got so much ice cream from? Like, how did they get their stock of ice cream?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Like, I get a lemonade stand, but if I see, like, an ice cream stand with blocks of ice cream, I'm like, is this profitable?
Like, what? Like, how old are you guys? Where did you get this ice cream from?
They could have been, like, I don't know, 16, 17, 15. It said that they were under 18.
Okay.
But still, like, ice cream is not your typical corner side hustle.
No, it's seriously not.
Good for them, though. I'll give them props for creativeness.
Yeah.
But don't do it,
what
folks.
What kind of ice cream was in there? Was it like just normal ice cream? Was it like vanilla, or were there cool flavors?
I'm sure that they probably sold different flavors. I mean, 60 bricks of fancy cream.
I would hope so.
I think if they stole the same flavor, I think that would not be a smart business plan.
They only have one flavor. It's like, oh, what do you want? What do you guys have? Vanilla.
Anything else? Nope.
I guess I'll have vanilla.
Are you telling me those 60 blocks there are just vanilla? And they're like, yep.
I'm like,
no.
All right.
60 blocks was what they were caught with. At that point, there had already been ice cream missing.
So they were selling stuff already.
Yeah, they were already
they
selling.
Definitely had more.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
1920s, when kids couldn't afford things, they would steal ice cream and sell it.
You know what? I'm not going to say props to them, but I respect the hustle.
I respect that it's an original idea.
Yeah. Cool. Was that?
Yeah, that was
the
it.
article? Alrighty.
Relatively short, but relatively fun.
No worries. Yeah. It was fun. I did enjoy that one. Okay. For my third article, this hails from the Gloucester County Times from Woodbury, New Jersey. Sunday, June 16th, 1985.
Okay.
And this one says, being a clown is serious business.
Okay.
Beneath the wild makeup, the orange hair, and the red bulbous nose, what is the stuff that makes a circus clown? For Janet Goodman of Germantown, becoming a clown means, quote, such a drastic change in lifestyle, end quote. Though taking a leave of absence from a job may not be so unusual, making a transition from 8th grade schoolteacher to traveling circus clown certainly is.
That is a big transition.
She's like, yeah, kids,
Come
I don't
see
know
me
if
at
I'll
the
see you
circus.
again. Come see me at the circus, yeah.
That'd be a crazy thing for your teacher to say.
Like, there's one thing of like running into your teacher outside of school, but running into your teacher because you're seeing her at a circus as the clown.
That's what. No.
That's so funny.
I would never live that down. I'm like, yep, one time I saw my teacher as a clown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she was one of about a dozen would-be clowns from all over New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and New York. Showed up at an audition to find out if they had just the right stuff to join the greatest show on earth.
Which was?
That's the name, The Greatest Show.
Oh!
Yeah. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. The circus held tryouts Thursday in the Spectrum to select those who have enough clown potential to qualify for a 16-week clown college in Venice, Florida.
In Florida?
I think so, yeah, in Florida, yeah. Even successful completion of the course doesn't guarantee a thing, except the chance that its graduates may be offered a job as professional clowns. The clown is, quote, more than a polished performer. The clown is a personality, end quote, said Andrew J. Rose, an apprentice clown with 1 year of professional clowning experience. This lifestyle is so intense that a person can't just like it, but has to love it. He said of the life he and his 25 fellow clowns lead, traveling around the country about 11 months of the year. That's a long time.
I want to know what that conversation was with their parents.
Mom, Dad, I want to be a clown. What the fuck?
Yeah, probably. There probably be that like little silent moment of silence where like the parents processing, and then they have that exact response.
Funny. Anyway, the backgrounds and motivations that brought the 12 clown college applicants to the auditions were as varied as the candidates themselves. Mike Hinman, 19, of Linwood, wants to turn what's now a hobby into a full-time career. Quote, I don't know when I decided to be a clown, he said. You just pick up the hobby and people tell you they like it. And then he added jokingly, it was bizarre. I just couldn't get this nose off. Though he has always considered himself a clown of sorts, quote, the class clown, not everyone has that kind of background. Chris Shelton, the boss clown of the circus, who supervised the auditions, said that he had never considered himself the Joker type. Quote, I was never a class clown. I was really shy in public. Only my mother saw that side of me before, end quote, he explained. But for others, running off to join the circus, as many of us see it, is really chasing after a childhood dream. When you were a kid, did you ever dream of becoming a nurse or a doctor or anything? Rupert Zeiser from Long Island asked. Well, this has been my dream. How many people do you know who are fulfilling their dreams from when they were 5 years old? When I was 7 years old, I got a magic set for Christmas, Zeiser said of his beginnings in the field. And then I started juggling, and it turned into clowning. I actually really like that, Lo. Like, you actually are chasing your dream.
Yeah.
That you've had since you were a kid. Although I don't... No harm, all love. Why would you dream about being a clown? Why would that be?
He probably had a good experience with a clown, like at a party or something.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, the clipping continues to say, one of the biggest problems many clown candidates seem to encounter is disapproval from family members.
Oh my god! Yes.
And what would your mother say is a question they often hear. But Zeiser has had many years to get his mother accustomed to the idea. After all, he's been planning on it since he was 5.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah. My mother's all for it, he said. It's taken her a while to get to that point. She used to say, oh, there's no future in being a clown. But now she knows it's what I really want to do.
Uh-huh.
Another explanation for wanting to be a clown came from a security clerk at the Philadelphia Navy base.
Okay.
Louise O'Rourke, 31, has been doing what she refers to as charity work on and off for 13 years. She performs as a clown at parties in the city, and her reason for auditioning to run off with the circus was simple. The excitement and wonder on kids' faces and the happiness you bring by making people laugh.
Aww.
It kind of fulfills me, she explained. I actually really
like any performer.
I get that.
Yeah.
Like any performer, anyone who works with kids, it's like, I love kids, right? Like one of the best things is seeing, like, making a kid laugh and like getting them interested in something. You know this. You've worked with kids. I have too. So I really respect that.
Yeah.
Anyway, continuing. So what kinds of things do you do to try out for clown college? You practice belly-aching laughs. Lay on the ground and flop around Three Stooges style. Imitate a vacuum cleaner, a bee in a honey jar, and improvise a skit. But underneath all of the accoutrements, jokes, and painted smiles, there are really people living this rigorous lifestyle. there's very little room for career or a private life in a traveling circus.
Yeah.
Back behind the curtain, Rose said, we are people, and many people don't realize that. Clowning is made of some serious stuff. That's the article.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Never wanted to be a clown. Still don't. But I was
There's
always
that clown
fascinated.
class that you mentioned.
There is a
before,
clown
right?
college that I would be willing to take a clown class. Don't want to pursue it as a career, but I
Of
think it'd be
course.
fun.
Yeah.
Also, what caught my eye way back when I was a child were mimes.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to be a mime? No, but I still
No.
think it's cool.
But it's kind of fun. Like,
Yeah.
too scary a little sometimes. But it's kind of fun.
I think nowadays people find them both creepy, but not everyone, you know.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's like clowns, you know. Some people are horrified of clowns.
Yeah, other people become
mind
clowns.
I don't really mind them. Other people become clowns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank
what do
you.
got for us, Jay?
I have horns.
More horns.
More horns.
Well, I guess we had less horns last time because they were. Getting
That's true.
cut off.
Oh, that's
So
true. We had
now
less
we have
horns.
more horns.
Now we have, more horns. I like the way you put that. So this is from the Sacramento Union in Sacramento, California.
Okay.
Thursday, August 4th, 1898.
Wow.
So we're really going back in time.
Long time.
And this one is quite interesting, to say the least.
Let's hear
It starts with the headline that says, "Men and Women with Horns." Authenticated cases of human beings thus adorned. This phenomenon is more frequently met with that is generally believed, such as that the force of prejudice that nearly all of us would rather have 2 noses or 4 feet than the emblem which, in bygone ages, was considered the supreme ornament of a man. It is in this view that horns are attributed to gods and heroes.
Oh shit.
Alexander the Great, when he proclaimed himself the son of Jupiter, gave the order that on the coins which would be struck should be struck there after he should be represented bearing horns. Michelangelo, when he made a statue of Moses, depicted the Hebrew legislator with horns as a sign of a manly strength. The kings of India were wont to have horns attached to their helmets as a mark of their supreme rank. The great gods like Jupiter, Pan, and Astarte, the goddess of the Syrians, were represented with horns as an indication of their mighty power. Give me a minute.
No, you're good.
In the course of the time, horns lost its significance, and it ceased to be regarded as a mark of splendor, force, and dignity. And then I had to cut this clipping into multiple parts.
That's fine.
M. Villeneuve has written a book in which he describes 71 cases of horned human beings.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to hear these cases.
50% of this occurred in the cases of men who had horns like animals on the forehead. The statistics show that more women are horned than men, and that the horns of the women are usually longer than those of men. In the British Museum, there is the largest specimen of a human horn. It is 8 inches in length and ornamented to the head of a noble Englishman. In the 17th century, a Mrs. Allen of Lancaster, England, had a pair of horns. So far from being ashamed, she was proud of them and wore them as an ornament all her life.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. They attracted to her, it is told numerous admirers. Another English woman of the same town, known as a beautiful Mary Davis, had a pair of horns, which were regarded as an addition to her charms. She had them cut off 4 times, but they grew again. One growth was presented to King Henry IV of France. M. Lamprey and other travelers have told people who number among them numerous specimen horns of men and women. Those people are found in certain regions of West Africa. In 1887, M. Lamprey relates he found in an African territory of Ghanem several imposing types of horned men and women. One of this was a majestic-looking black man with 2 horns, which in his case sprang from each side of the nose.
Horns from his nose?
Don't know what they were looking at, but that's how they described it.
All right.
A Mexican named Rodriguez is described as having a horn on the side of his head about 7 inches long, with 3 branches like the horns of a stag. And it wraps up with, are horns hereditary?
Okay.
It would appear from observations of physicians who have carefully studied this that they are sometimes hereditary. Thank you. Though not as a general rule. M. Dublanc relates in the Journal of Pharmacide for 1830 that the medical society sent him for analysis 3 human horns, of which one was cut from the head of the grandfather of the person who bore the other 2.
Oh.
Animals that are not usually horned, sometimes like the human race, put forth unexpectedly and decorations for this kind. There are well authenticated cases of horns being found on dogs, horses, and hares. And there's even one case related to a trustworthy physician of their being seen on a cat. What is the nature of this horn formation? According to Malpighi, whose opinion is entitled to great weight, horns are the nervous prolongation of the skin. Another judge, not to be despised, says that due to a morbid surrection, without entering into details of the subject, it may be said that it is agreed that in their essence, human horns are I don't even know this word. Analogous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Analogous. Yeah. Analogous. I don't know.
One of those 2. In their substance to that of the horns of animals, to human nails, and to the claws of beast. Whatever it may be, this excrescences do not threaten either the health or the life of those who have them. And that is the end of the article.
You know, I was not expecting an article about humans having horns.
No, especially because it
really
started with all like the Greeks
sculptures
and like Indian cultures. Yeah. The symbolism of them.
Yeah.
And then we got into
like
real humans with horns.
Actual cases of humans with horns. Everything. That's cool.
Yeah.
The horns from the nose.
That's
crazy.
very interesting.
Yeah,
I want to know
it
what
was.
part of the nose they were coming from.
Yeah, is it like the soft part, or is it from like the bridge?
Yeah.
Or...
Was it just more cartilage that looked like a horn?
Who knows?
But yeah.
Well,
what do you have?
You
for
know
us?
what? Like people in the 1800s would think of a person, especially a woman, if they saw her with horns.
Oh, devil.
Witch.
Witch. Burn her.
Witch. And that's exactly what my next article is about. Colorado Springs Gazette. Colorado Springs, Colorado, from on Tuesday, August 26, 1975. This one's called Witch Drawings to Stave Killers.
Okay.
And this one I'm just gonna read it.
Fair.
Mutilation of his pet dogs is among the threats received in long-distance telephone calls by Dave Edwards, publisher of the Brush Banner, after his August 6th publication of 2 protective drawings that were designed in ancient times to ward off the activities of satanic followers.
So who and why are they threatening this poor dog?
I don't know, because I guess they didn't like him posting about the wards for satanic followers. Anyway.
Wow.
The drawings were offered by a coven, 13, of Denver witches in response to Edwards' contact with the Denver Public Library in conjunction with his concerted investigation of the mysterious mutilation and killing of more than 90 livestock in Colorado.
90?
When told of the... Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
When told of the possible cult connection to the mutilations, the witches produced the drawings along with an explanation. By duplicating these drawings, they maintained one of 2 things would happen to those subscribing to the vogue of cultism.
To the vogue of what?
Cultism.
Okay. That's an
First-
interesting way to put it, though.
Yeah.
The vogue of cultism.
First, to display either symbol on an area needing protection, the cultists wouldn't perform their deeds there. Secondly, by displaying both designs, the cultists can be drawn away from their activities and cannot, according to their beliefs, commit further acts until the symbols have been removed. The banner printed the symbols in each of its 6,500 papers. The symbols are but a mirror of the sickness motivating these persons in their atrocities upon cattle, Edwards wrote. It must be remembered that the cultists believe in such symbols, and while offensive to accepted Christian standards, it becomes a matter of fighting fire with fire. He continued, obviously, cattle mutilations are an offense against each of us. It cannot be allowed to continue without an open opposition. The human vermin committing such acts...
Oh my God.
Yeah, should be confronted with those primitive measures that most effectively offend them. It is not a risk to challenge those who would so demean themselves as to mutilate what is supposed to be a lower creature, but even that is open to question in the light of these demonic acts. If the symbols or these words offend them, so be it. It is our belief that they are deserving of no less. Whether the symbols and or words have offended the phantom killers of livestock, or whether pranksters have been alerted by Edward's article, is anybody's guess, including Edward. And that's the article.
Wow. Did not expect any of that.
Right?
Yeah, folks, don't mutilate any animal, to be honest. Just don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
And then the article does have a little drawing of what the symbol looked like.
What was like?
Printed. So
Okay.
you guys will all be able to see that too.
Nice.
It's really simple, actually. But
I think most of the time they are, and then nowadays people like to overcomplicate them.
yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Of course. Anyway, what are you closing us out with, Jay?
I'm closing us up with women,
Women.
just like you did. Not a witch, though.
Hell yeah.
However, how much do you know of American propaganda?
Kind of. Probably more than I want to, because it's propaganda, right?
Yeah, yeah. More specifically, World War propaganda.
You can do it. we can do it.
Okay, so this might be
Rosie
from
the
left
Riveter?
field,
Yeah.
or maybe not, but this is from the Indianapolis Star, February 10th, 1918.
Okay.
And it's from the Indianapolis Star magazine section.
Okay.
And the title says, let me make it a little bit larger. Okay. The love tricks of the woman spy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh, we got spies. Okay.
How the sinister fascination of beautiful femininity is used to advance deadly games of war stealing secrets.
Guess it's what spies do best, right?
Yeah. This was written by Barbara Creighton. And it starts by saying, A woman young and fair and dressed in the last word of the mod walked slowly through the corridor of a great hotel. This silver fox fur about her graceful neck sets off all of its alluring curves. Her gown is of sort of that of a debutante that she might wear at an assembly ball. Her bare arm is placed with just that suggestion of pressure that inspired hope over that of a young man in khaki.
Ooh, okay.
The music is playing a dreamy waltz, and they chat with their carelessness of the really young. There is a waltz, maybe a kiss, and the woman disappears into her own car. And the man sends memory backward to an hour as one might recall the bouquet of the wonderful wine. 2 weeks pass, and a torpedo hastening along from submarine to meet a great ship carrying its hundreds of men and its millions of treasures. Does the mind make its connection between the two? Hardly. It is difficult to reconcile the weapons of love, of grace, and all of that goes to make life wonderful with the killing of human species. And yet from the art of convention or of the artless maid with the young man in a khaki came the direction of the torpedo that went onto its life-taking mission. Mm-hmm. In war, truly the female of the species is more deadly than the male. In all the annals of the Great War that is shaking the world, there is nothing half as fascinating nor yet half as strange as the part that a woman spy is playing in the gigantic game that may remake the map of the world. In every great hotel in America where the wealth, the fashion, and the soldier blood of the particularly local come to display and for recreation, the great secret force has its own woman on guard. She is never what one might think, for one must always recall the German idea as expressed by the old general whose subordinate brought in a man under the charge of being a spy. Why did you arrest him? Asked the old general. Because he looked like an Englishman, said the young man. Fool, said the general. That is the last thing in the world that the English spy will look like.
Damn, they're just like profiling now.
Yeah. One may take the suggestion at its full face value, for the last thing in the world that the general spy will look like in this country will be a German. And then it has a little section that says, the ever-present charmer. That is why the German female spy, dressed in the last echo of fashion and the most dangerous of all the elements of warfare that have been brought to bear in the great struggle. And she's by no means a creature of modern warfare. Women dared and died for their loved ones in the old days, when feudal barons rode at large and left their homes. Firesides and blood came and betray a land for love. It is that fate of things. Astute old Bismarck, looking to this contingency, decreed that no German officer might marry a woman of foreign blood. And he decreed by the book of experience in which he had delved deeply while minding oil burn without regard to the oil trust of revenue. All of which lead to consider the danger of the secret woman agent in our midst. And she is present in every locality in America where there is work to be done and winning of the war. Her business is grim and sure. If the young man in khaki first mentioned in the story had followed the will-o-wisp that led him on to dance, he would have found her at night with a man whose head had been touched by the frost of time, whose mind had not been fogged with wine, who was merely waiting for the butterfly who was to bring on her golden wings and the pollen of death. Ever in the background of a woman spy, it's the man with the thin gray hair whose knowledge of the world has been gained by living many years among many people and by studying for many years with the people like the people did in ages before he was born. The importance of this picture cannot be too strongly painted. Gentlemen, perishing, and in his latest order to the American in France, he warned against the woman of the soldier's leisure. Where am I at? There's a lot.
Dude, I love this
and
whole spy world and narrative.
it's a lot of like, hey, this was American propaganda during World War II.
Yeah.
Like, don't trust anyone.
Especially the like pretty women.
Yeah, or your
Because they're
neighbors,
all
or like the
spies,
teachers.
yeah.
You can't trust anyone. But then the other day there was arrested in Chattanooga, Tennessee, a point near a mobilization camp in their names are Chickamauga. It's a name in Tennessee.
Okay, yeah,
if you're
cool,
there, I'm sorry I'm butchering it. And a central place in the Great Iron and the coal district of the South. On the Western Front in France, her husband was fighting in the ranks of the German army. He was scanning the horizon day by day and night by night for a sign in which his men might strike the Allied forces. She was the daughter of old Wilhelm Pickard, a New York millionaire, and by the travesty of fate, a son by her first husband was a cadet in the United States Academy. With the woman was a young lieutenant of the American Army who admitted that he had been charmed by the grace of the woman whose heart was in his locket of the German officer on the Western Front. The beautiful woman had her possession a secret code book and letters that showed that she had more than a passing interest in what the American Army was engaged in. She was indeed at once by the order of the federal authorities. And then there's the fascinating Madame H.
Ooh, Madam H, love it.
By far the most fascinating of all women held in this country since the opening of war, perhaps because the great mystery that attaches to personality and to operations, it's a woman who is only known to records as Madame H. She was taken at San Francisco by a presidential warrant, which is the last word in processes for the apprehension of an accused person. Yet it is well known that she is a woman of high social position, of the most perfect education and grace. She is described as beautiful, brunette, and the most dangerous age in her life, the ripe, full-blown era of 35.
Nice.
When women no longer wonder at the mysteries of life and only long to defer. I really don't know what. And only long to defer the inability. Wow, tongue-tied.
Inability.
Thank you. Day when they will become memories.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, when they only long to defer the inability. Day when they will become memories. It is the age when women as lovers are irresistible and as spies most dangerous. There is little that is hidden from them and much that they can with the camouflage of the toilet hide. I know. It is this woman, so runs the story, who sent Franz Schulzberg, said to be the master spy of the Germans in the West, on his mission to this country, and she is in charge with being her guiding hand, under the direction of the
Inevitability?
Inevitable. Inedible.
Inevitable?
Inevitable. It's an old newspaper. Old man with a thin gray hair of many of the chief's spies of the whole country. Madam H is said to have been part and parcel of Wolf von Eagle spy's nest, which had its eyrie in Wall Street until the band of Secret Service men broke in one day, seized the safe, the secret codes, and more important, secrets of international state that anybody dreams of existing. And then it wraps up with the wide spell of mischief. Among the plans of the band under the control of the mysterious scheme for getting wireless communication with the Great American Plant at its German name, Great Knowen, Germany.
Worst.
Knowen, Germany, which used to work directly with another German name, Sayesville, before the Navy took charge of the American station. As the narrative proceeds, the band had a big wireless station, one of the lofty peaks of Mexico, and from it, using Goldschmidt's invention to send out the tuning pitch of the watching station at Arlington, Sayesville, Pensacola, and the ships at the sea were relying, the German name, to Knowen to reports on the spice collection. And still further, they were working through Honolulu on the Orient with the results of getting connection through Russian to the German people, making a double round the world scheme of getting the reports back to the grim gentlemen who sit day by day in the gross general staff office and peruse the comments of men and women in all parts of the world. Under this mysterious woman's spell, the revolting India was hatched. An insurrection was planned against the British rule. There had already come many striking evidences that a woman spy was at work. Miss Ida Mullerthal, young, beautiful, and bewitching, in love with Lieutenant John Shorvder, ambitious but moneyless officer, had been caught in the act of taking the fortification plans of Posen through the lines. For the love of her sweetheart, she permitted him to tattoo with India's ink upon her beautiful back the gun positions.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah. The emplacements and the munition stations of the post. In Brooklyn, the authorities held up the mail of Arid Amundsen, a pretty girl of 20 who was found writing seemingly harmless letters to her Scandinavian sweetheart. And on every side, there has come a warning. Watch the woman spy. She is the most dangerous of the species.
I applaud. I'm applauding right now.
It was very long because it was a full page.
No, that's awesome. I love it. I honestly love that it's like the women are like the most dangerous thing, and they're the spies, and Madam H.
Yeah, no, and once again, American propaganda. You can't trust anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Not even America and themselves,
No.
especially America.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you see a pretty lady walking by? She might
That's
be a
actually
spy.
a spy. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, why did you bring me that Englishman? Because he looked like a spy. You fool.
Not good enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was good. It was a good way to end it.
I know it was wordy, folks. If you want to read it on your own, it will be on the website and on the Instagram. But yeah, so we wrapped up with women spies.
That's the best way to wrap up.
So once again, folks, thank you for tuning in to Old News Nonsense.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for being here. Glad to be recording it. Volume 13. As always, send us in any newspaper clippings of your own you found interesting, or maybe some things you want us to look into a bit more.
Yeah.
We'll try to find some relevant newspaper clippings as that as well. But otherwise, we hope you enjoy.
Yeah. If you find what happened to that Santa Claus suit, let us know.
Yeah. Also, would you watch an ugly dog contest? Would you submit your dog to an ugly dog contest? Let us know as well.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
So thank you, folks. And until next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to Chambers of the Occult. For photos, sources, and anything else mentioned during the episode, check out our website at chambersoftheoccult.com. You'll find everything you need there if you do find yourself wanting more. You can also follow us on all of our socials at Chambers of the Occult and on Twitter at COTO Podcast. If you have any questions, comments, recommendations, personal anecdotes, or concerns, let us know. Fill out our contact form on our website, email us at chambersoftheoccult@gmail.com, or leave us a message on our socials. We would love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed what you heard, we would greatly appreciate it if you could drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. It is absolutely the best way to show your support, and it would mean the world. Until next time.